In Shanghai, the number of confirmed COVID cases continues to skyrocket. China's vice premier traveled to the city on April 2nd to address the matter. In her visit, she repeatedly asserted the need to achieve zero community transmission in the shortest possible time, fulfilling Xi Jinping's will. Shanghai drastically shifted its prevention strategy from living with the virus to a COVID zero policy, making it a political mission to stamp out the virus. Yet, the extreme measures have caused more collateral damage than the virus itself. Some people have speculated that this anti-epidemic campaign, which the CCP uses to eliminate the virus, may instead destroy the CCP. Currently in Shanghai, the official number of confirmed cases exceeds 10,000 per day. The vice premier rushed to Shanghai and stressed the need to achieve zero COVID socially in the shortest possible time. In other words, the Great Leap Forward to COVID-0 political campaign by the CCP Central Committee is officially implemented in Shanghai. In recent days, Shanghai has entered into a severe state of lockdown, or what is called area-wide static management. It's essentially a citywide lockdown. No one can move around or leave their homes. A female supervisor at the Shanghai CDC revealed that the authorities' policy of locking down the city has caused chaos and brought medical resources to the brink of collapse. In this episode, we have a few updates on the outbreak in Shanghai. First, tensions grow in Shanghai. Xi Jinping has sent troops from other parts of China. According to China's official media, Shanghai has mobilized all its 50,000 police officers to enforce the lockdown. In the meantime, on April 3rd, Chairman Xi Jinping deployed a large number of military and armed police officers to Shanghai. On April 7th, more military moved into Shanghai on a large scale, with the airport and bus stations swarmed with incoming servicemen. On the same day, CCTV, a CCP mouthpiece, reported that several large transport planes landed at Shanghai Hongqiao Airport to support the prevention and control of the epidemic in Shanghai. Video footage taken by residents showed many military vehicles on the highway pulling over in the city and military personnel entering hotels. It's been observed among the public that Xi seems worried about the party, government, and military of the Shanghai gang and has deployed troops from other jurisdictions to manage the situation. Second, Shanghai has cracked down on 5 local officials in succession. Is Xi sending out purging signals? Chinese official media has recently published articles suggesting that Shanghai officials have been lying flat, namely taking no action and resisting the central government's COVID-0 policy, resulting in a chaotic situation in the city. Immediately, the Shanghai municipal government removed 5 officials from their posts for inaction in fighting the epidemic. It has led to heated discussions. Some analysts believe that Xi has started to arrest officials who have been lying flat, a signal that the Xi camp has begun to purge its rivalry, the remnants of the Jiang faction in Shanghai. The central government warned Shanghai officials in a circular that they should further align their thinking, carry out Xi's important directives, and join the battle against the outbreak. Third, the Great Leap Forward in COVID-0 campaign overrides the medical scientific approach to the fight against the outbreak. The Shanghai authorities abandoned the approach of living with the virus and switched to lockdowns and a COVID-0 strategy to be in line with the central government. What accounts for this radical change is that Shanghai has been under pressure from the higher echelons of Beijing and had to make a sharp turn. To put it simply, Shanghai's epidemic prevention strategy has shifted from a professional and scientific approach to a political mission. Analysts believe that the aim is to suppress the number of confirmed cases in the shortest possible time so as to save face for Beijing. Worsened case counts will not only affect Xi Jinping's re-election prospects at the 20th CCP's National Congress in the fall, but also the CCP's status and credibility in the international arena. Fourth, Shanghai preventative measures have made a secondary hazard into a major disaster. Disaster 1. Shanghai residents have no food. No one is receiving supplies meant for Shanghai. A lot of vegetables are rotting. Since the lockdown, many neighborhoods are facing food shortages. Authorities aren't distributing supplies, and medicines aren't available. Online comments pleading for help are everywhere, and over the past few days, Shanghai residents have been protesting every day, demanding supplies. At the same time, many drivers who brought relief supplies from other provinces and cities complained that no one received the supplies, resulting in fresh vegetables and meat rotting and being wasted. A video shows that many trucks carrying aid supplies to Shanghai were parked on the side of the road. The driver who filmed the video said, "When we arrived here, no one received them and no one took care of them, and we had no food to eat." In reality, the chaos in the supply chain exists not only in Shanghai. Earlier this year, after the city of Xi'an was shut down, people made videos showing that a lot of vegetables donated were thrown into the garbage. Disaster 2. Officials are corrupt and take advantage of the opportunity to make money from the national disaster. Video footage revealed that some regional officials hoarded supplies donated to Shanghai and sold them privately at high prices for profiteering. A grassroots official disclosed that there were several neighborhood committee secretaries who were fighting to arrange for their own suppliers to sell vegetables in the neighborhoods for profiteering. And the same thing happened in Changchun, northeast China, where supplies donated from out of town were intercepted on the way by a group of powerful and connected people so that they could take the supplies home first. Disaster 3. Treat people like dirt when extreme epidemic prevention and control are in force. Recently, several online videos exposed Shanghai's epidemic prevention staff. They resorted to violence to maintain stability. One video shows a worker in a white hazmat suit slamming a man to the ground and kicking him hard. It sparked public anger. Another video shows police officers in white hazmat suits beating a young man. A Shanghai parent posted an even more disturbing video on April 1st. The video showed more than 200 toddlers in a centralized quarantine site with only a dozen healthcare staff. Some had rotten bottoms, and multiple toddlers were crammed into one crib. Moreover, news continues to break that there were other patients who died because of delayed diagnosis and treatment or lack of care because of the epidemic closure and control. A frontline doctor fighting the epidemic in Pudong, Shanghai, said bluntly in an interview with a Hong Kong-based digital media, Inidium Media, "More patients have died because of the epidemic lockdown and control than may have died from the virus itself." Fifth, nucleic acid testing applies to everything. On March 28th, a Weibo user released a video showing anti-epidemic workers conducting nucleic acid tests on live fish. In the video, a fisherman at a Shanghai aquatic market opened the fish's mouth and then plugged a cotton swab deep into its throat, suspected of collecting saliva. The video ended with a caption explaining that if it was found to be positive, it would be given a separate pool and isolated for more than 14 days. In addition, the staff also conducted nucleic acid tests on dogs, floors, bottles, and so on. Sixth, Shanghai residents are enraged. People in many communities are upset by the prolonged blockade by the authorities. They have organized themselves to help each other and protest against the authorities. Another large number of people can't stand a high-handed blockade and rammed a fence en masse to break the blockade set by the authorities. In Shanghai, 2 neighborhood committees asked residents to sing a red song of thanks to the government, but the residents turned the tables on them. On April 2nd, a video went viral on Twitter. It showed a man in Shanghai arguing with anti-epidemic workers, shouting, "Down with the CCP." As the public has observed, the Communist Party's zero-COVID policy and its extreme, aggressive measures resemble Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward campaign, a push to change China from a predominantly farming society to a modern industrial society in just 5 years, which led to catastrophic results. These extreme measures have tormented tens of millions of Chinese people and planted widespread public discontent throughout the country. Naturally, the more oppressive and extreme the CCP is against the people, the more extreme responses it will get from the people.